Well, to a striking extent, Americans are not waiting for election day to vote. More than 75 million people have already cast their votes, which is nearly 47%, the total number cast in the 2020 presidential election. Dr. Mark Shanahan is Associate Professor of Politics at the University of Surrey. Mark, I guess you're not going to like the question, but this early voting seems to be substantial. Can we say, is it going to be significant?
Of course it is significant in that nearly 75 million people have already voted. 161 million voted in 2020. At that time, Donald Trump was telling his supporters, don't vote early, wait for the day. November the 5th is the last day of voting in this election. People have had the opportunity to vote for quite a long time, be it in person or via mail-in votes. And it seems to have broken both ways this time. We have had a lot of Republicans going out. The GOP, the Grand Old Party, has been quite boosted and lifted by the numbers of Republican voters that they've seen. But equally, a lot of Democrats who more traditionally will vote early have been out and following that path. It's not like last time when it was COVID affected, but particularly women are seen to have been out voting this time. And that might just favour Kamala Harris and the Democrats in that traditionally more women vote for the Democrats. And given that reproductive rights is such a big issue this time round, it may be that that is driving more women to vote for Harris at the polls.
Well, you talk about women. When distinguished professors like you write your next book, what will you write about? Which group of voters will have decided this election? Will it be women, men, the young, the old, moms, as they call them in the States? Who is it?
Yes, in answer to all of those. I think overall women will win this election. Trump will get high support from men, particularly from non-college educated men, from older voters, though older women seem to be breaking in greater numbers towards Harris. The young minorities will tend to vote for the Democrats. Harris really needs to get them out in very, very significant numbers. You look at young black men who seem to be drifting more towards Trump than coming out for a woman of colour. But I think in the end, reproductive rights is such a huge issue in this election, and it really only affects women, and they will be the ones who vote largely based on this and who will have the deciding vote.
Just walk us through the timeline of the election, the declaration of results. What can we expect in the days ahead?
OK, it's probably not going to be quick unless it is a very decisive win for either side. If it is close and it comes down to a couple of those swing states, particularly Pennsylvania, you are looking at no declaration until well into Wednesday at the earliest. And it could run a couple of days more than that. You look at 2020 and it really ran through to the weekend. If it is close, expect litigation. Certainly if Harris is a close win, Trump's default is to go to court, and he will have groups of Republicans all around the country heading for their state courthouses. Even if it is a close Trump victory, the Harris campaign will have learned from 2020 that it can be disputed. This won't be like 2000, where Al Gore gave up the fight very, very easily. Both sides will really hope that by the middle of December, when electors in the Electoral College are nominated and when they meet, that there will be a clear result. Are we going to have a safe and easy and peaceful transfer of power in January? 2020 was a really, really bad omen, and particularly if this is a close win for Harris, we could see more violence, more insurrection around the country. I don't think it will break so much the other way if it's a win for Trump. It is unlikely that this will be calm and peaceful all of the way through. It is a hugely consequential election, and nobody is going to give up the results without the biggest of fights.
Mark, good to talk to you. I'm sure we'll speak again in coming days. Dr. Mark Shanahan, Associate Professor of Politics at the University of Surrey.